You're listening to Greater Good Radio Hawaii. Please visit us online at greatergoodradio.com. Today's guest is Colbert Matsumoto, Chairman and CEO of Island Insurance Company Limited. Colbert is also an active member in the community with numerous fundraising efforts on behalf of several nonprofit entities. So could you continue telling us about how you made that transition into majoring or going into law, and what was your career or your focus from then after?
Well, when I decided to go to law school, I had no idea what I was getting myself into because I never met a lawyer. I had never been in a courtroom. My only image of, practicing law was having watched Perry Mason and the Defenders on television. And so I just thought that, lawyers, they don't have to work hard and they make a lot of money. And, after getting out of law school, I found out that I was wrong on both accounts, that, young lawyers had to work really hard and they didn't make as much money as I thought that they made. But I came back to Hawaii after going to law school on the mainland and opened up my own office and kind of struggled for a couple of years until I was able to get a job with a law firm. And then I basically pursued the practice of law with a firm for about 15 years before I formed my own law firm.
So do you miss it? You miss law?
Actually, no. I'm really enjoying what I'm doing now, and I think that the law, was very good when I was in it, and I enjoyed it. I think more in the latter part of my career as opposed to the earlier part of my career. But what I do miss about the law is the camaraderie that you develop practicing law, because there's a certain camaraderie that I think exists with the members of the bar here in Hawaii.
You mean the attorneys have camaraderie?
Right. They're able to develop that also, and particularly the lawyers that practice in the personal injury bar. And so they tend to run into each other a lot at the courthouse or in depositions or in different settings. And even though you may frequently be on opposite sides, you start to get to know each other and become friends. And so I think that I miss that part of the practice.
So it seems that there's a number of attorneys that were successful attorneys in town that moved into larger corporations. Mitch Dolier is one, you're another. What advice can you give maybe other attorneys out there that may be looking to make the switch also?
Well, the opportunities to do that don't come along all the time. And so I was really lucky that I was offered that opportunity. And, I would say, if you get that opportunity, take it, because, I think that it's an exciting opportunity to be on the other side of the table. And what is also very enjoyable and satisfying about the work that I do now is that it allows you to be a lot more creative. I think that you're able to use your skills in a very different way than as a lawyer. Because as a lawyer, your job is basically you're a service provider. And so you're expected to perform a certain function for clients. And, when you're the client, you're able to basically decide what it is that you want to have done. And so it gives you the opportunity to exercise some creativity.
So what was the opportunity that arose for you to be able to make that move?
Well, for me, Island Insurance was a client of mine for almost 20 years. And so I had established a long relationship with the company. And to a certain extent, I guess I was a known quantity. And the company, when I joined it, was struggling with succession planning. Like many other companies today, a lot of older companies have had very stable management for many years, but then a lot of times they haven't done a good job in terms of grooming succession.
Is that because it's a family business?
No, it's not necessarily because it's a family business, but sometimes, the years pass so quickly that you forget how old everybody's getting. And by the time you turn around and look for, who's next in line, you may not have really planted the right seeds.
So how was the transition for you?
Well, it was tough. There was a lot to learn. I'm still learning a lot about, the industry and about my job. But, I think that it's something that I enjoyed doing because it was a lot about learning, and I enjoy learning. And so I spent a lot of time reading, meeting people, getting advice from people, making mistakes and trying to learn from my mistakes. And so it was a very enjoyable experience making that transition. And fortunately, things have worked out for the most part.
Being that you said or mentioned that you grew up in Lanai, some people feel that Hawaii people don't have very good communication skills because of our pidgin language or just the broken English that we speak. Well, what's your feeling on that? Because like you said, your job is to communicate with people.
I think that, that's a real, a red herring in terms of, a lot of people say that people in Hawaii are not good, they're not articulate, they're not very good communicators. But I actually think that people in Hawaii are better communicators than a lot of people in the mainland. Because I think that people in Hawaii tend to be a lot better at nonverbal communication. They're able to read nonverbal signals much better than I think people from other cultures are able to. And so as a consequence, I think that serves you very well because, local people tend to listen better. They observe, they pay attention to, more than just what's being said. And as a consequence, I think that because they do that, they're much better communicators because they're really understanding the context and not just, what is being articulated.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more on Greater Good Radio.